Hello guys, my name is Michael and welcome to the second part of GObject property related to GObject new function and GObject connect function. In the first part you notice that we were creating a new type of window. Best said, we are getting a new way of creating a new window with the help of GObject new function. And of course, instead of working with GObject connect, G signal connect, sorry, or related to them families, we are working with GObject connect. And you were noticing that it is quite interesting, this function, but you maybe still don't see something which will be attractive for you to work with this one. So in this video we are going to make some new modification from the last one, and we are going to proceed with some new information about GObject new and GObject connect, which is very important. At this point we have, you already know, this window together with this button which has a label called click the button. Once that you click, it says you click the button, nothing special. Now we are going to concentrate ourselves on the button itself. So I'm going to comment also this button calls, or best said, these functions which are dedicated for the button, and in this case, and we are going to do something much interesting. So button, and we are going to say now again GObject new, which is very important. Now what do we need? We know that we need to create a button. So instead of G type window, this time we need a GTK type button, or if you create a toggle button, then will be a GTK type toggle button as well. This is the first thing. Now the next thing which we need to create some properties. We need to set some properties. Now of course I'm going to show you something. This kind of maybe new to you. You probably saw a lot of people working with something like this. GTK label. I'm going to set it first and then we'll see. I'm going to say, no, I'm going to copy this one right here. It will be much interesting. Okay, now the next thing which I'm going to do at this time, I'm not going to say GTK label, I'm going to say GTK widget, you see, and parent, and of course who's the parent of the window? The button, the window itself, and null. Now probably you are asking yourself if I'm doing right. Let me compile it and write for a second. We do have a problem because we don't really use the button. We need to do something with this button, so I'm going to just silent it, call it void on it for a second. Now if I compile it and run it, you see we do have something says GObject new is valid property. So GTK button has no property called GTK button label. You see? Why is that? Well, the first thing is because you need to capital this one, so it will be upper G and upper B. You see, everything works fine. Now of course the callback function doesn't work because we didn't connect it. We are not monitoring this one at this point. Anyway, if you see something like this, just be sure that you are not interested in working with this one. Maybe you think you need it, maybe it is the right way to type something so complicated like this one, GTK button label. No, you don't. This is just another convenience way of working with this one, because the button has a label itself. You just call label. Now let's see if you compile it and run it right now with the label property. You see we have it. What happens now if we instead remove the GTK widget and we let the parent? Let's see what happens right now, because now basically we remove also the widget part, which is not a button part. Well, guys, this is a very important thing. You need to follow the GTK properties playlist, because you need to understand something. I'm going to repeat myself. Let me click on the object hierarchy, which is important for you to understand it. I'm sure that some of you, more of you know. Here you have some widgets. Let's say GTK about dialog. What exactly happens now? If I'm going to click on object hierarchy right here, you will see that GTK about dialog, it is in here from GTK dialog and so on, which means all those, they are subclasses. All those belong to GObject, and better say GTK container belongs to GTK widget, GTK beam belongs to GTK container and widget, and so on. So all those properties which are inherited from one to another one can be used, which means you can set them. So basically, now if you try to set the property of the GTK widget on your button, you don't really need to set GTK widget double call. This is just a convenience way. If you want to do it, but you don't need. Just use the parent property, which you get it from GTK widget. Right here, the GTK widget has a property. Let me go to it a little bit. Properties and parent right here. You see, because the GTK button itself, it is a container, which is a subclass of GTK widget. It has a property called parent. But if you want to inform your users or later those which are following your code, you can work with GTK widget instead of parent directly name. It's fine. Okay, that being said, let us move on with the next thing which we need. But before we do that, we need to add some advanced. At this point, I'm definitely sure that you know how signal works. If you don't, then just follow the GTK signal property. I'm going to update also that playlist, because we need a lot of videos about those signals more that I provide, but at least you need to understand how it's working. So GTK widget add events, it's something which we are going to use right now, because the button this time needs also to monitor something different from its own signal, which we have it in that case the clicker one. We need the button press event as well. So for this we need the GTK button press event, button GTK, not GTK, sorry, GTK button press event. Why is not working? Because it's a button press mask, I think. Yes, not event, sorry. Now, this is not important. Important it is for you the next function, which is very important. You remember in the last video I was showing you about the GObject connect, and the function itself, it says that you can come a way to connect multiple signals at once. So this is basically what we are going to do right now. We are going to monitor two different signals with one call. So what do we need? We need GObject connect. The thing which we need, it is the object first one, and of course now we can proceed with our clicked function, because we were using here with our clicked signal, sorry, G signal connect swapped, and here says if we go back, here says you need the swapped signal. Right here we are going to use the same one, just to stick with the same kind of signal function. So I'm going to say swap minus signal. You see, it says right here swap minus signal. You see, so I'm not using something new, different. So let me copy and paste it right here. And now what do we need? We need, because this is the monitor, now we need the signal, which is the clicked. Now because we have it, the thing which we need, it is the clicked function. I'm going to copy, And the next thing which we need, which I didn't told you in the other video, I'm going to tell you right now, it is the button. Now, let me go back a little bit. In the last video, I didn't provide you information about the last two null. You see, we have two, not one, like you got used maybe in the signal connect functions. And I didn't say nothing, I just let it. Why? Well, because the first one is the parameter which you pass it, like in this case the gsignal connect or gsignal connect swap. And the last one is the null which you inform that you are done. So now in this case, when we are calling the swap, basically we are swapping the button with another parameter, in this case the button itself. This is the same thing which we did when we create the button right here. You see, we are calling the gsignal connect on the button, and we are swapping with the button itself. Why? Just because I need to work with only one parameter. I don't want to use a G pointer as well, so the second parameter is gone. That's the only reason. Now, because we have the swap, let's call the second one which we needed to monitor. It will be the button press event. So what do we need? We need a signal. I'm going to copy this one. And the signal name, of course, which we're going to use will be button press event. And let's say we need a pressed callback function, and of course the window, because we are passing the window this time. And the last parameter will be null, which means that we are informing the GObject connect that we are done. So let us check to be sure that everything it is at its place. So we are connecting the button. Basically, we are monitoring the clicked signal on the button and the button press on the button. The clicked will be the swap signal, and of course the button press event will be just a signal. By doing this, we are calling the clicked callback and the pressed callback. We are passing the button because we are using swap, so we are swapping the button with the button in the first case, and in the second case we are just passing the window as the second parameter, which will be in our case, of course, the G pointer data. Now if we compile it and run it, it is not working because we didn't create the pressed callback. I'm just going to do something fast here. G pointer, G boolean pressed callback. What do we need? We need the first thing which we need a button, so GTK button. The next one will be the GTK event, and the last one will be the GTK window, because we are passing the window. I'm not going to say GTK pointer, I'm going to say GTK G pointer, sorry. Now we need to, I'm going to cast everything, void button, and of course, because I'm not really creating a function to work with this one, I'm just interested right now that everything is fine. gprint, let's say hello button press event, whatever. It is funny, but this is what we are going to do. Now let me compile it and run it. Okay, yes, sorry, return true. Let me close this one. Why did I forget to close them? Because you don't need them. Anyway, let me go back. What do we have now? We basically create a window with a GObject, we know. Then we are connecting the destroy signal with the window itself, and then we are basically calling the GTK main quit. We have null for the user data, and of course we are informing the GObject. Okay, we know that. That was in the first video. In the second video right now, today we are creating a button. This time again with the help of GObject new, we are setting only two properties, the label and the parent, and then we are adding events on the button, which is the GTK button press event, and the GObject connect, it will be called on the button this time just to connect these two signals, and we so that we can monitor them on our button, and if something happens, then the clicker callback and the pressing callback function, they are called, which is very important. So now if you compile it and run it and you click it, you see hello button press event. You see it's working fine and gets called. So basically this is the way how you work with these GObject connect and GObject new functions. This is another way of creating objects, not just by working with the widget new function calls, like in the case of GTK button new or GTK window new. Of course, I'm strongly suggested to stick with them to be much more clear, at least for those who are not, which they are not very familiar with it. But if you work with this one, you will notice that it is a very fast way of creating objects and connecting them to signals and so on, which is very important for us to understand this this way of creating objects, not just the traditional way of following every widget and its functions. Like I said, it is a matter of choice, it is a matter of decision if you need to work with that and not with these ones, or if you need to work with these ones, then here is the way, or at least one way to work with. I'm going to scroll a little bit down here just that you see the code again. That being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.